All of us. We're too often in too deep to realize it, though, right? Hopefully, my prayer is that I can shed some light on that today. So as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is also dead. It's not a competition, y'all. It's not a competition. Works come from faith. So we need to let our works, we need to let our works be seen. This is kind of my point. If nothing else, if you get nothing else from what I'm saying today, I want everyone to understand, this morning, be encouraged. I want to motivate us to live from our faith. What does that mean? That means to take action based on the fact that as believers, we are the light of the world, right? We're here to help people see Jesus. And as light, we are clearly seen at the nighttime, uncovered, shining brilliantly. Matthew chapter 5, Jesus begins to teach the Sermon on the Mountain. Verses 15 and 16, he's talking about being the light of the world. He says, "No one lights a lamp and puts it under a basket, but rather on a lampstand, sets it up high, so that it gives light for the whole house. And in the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father in heaven." I don't think I need to go into any deep analysis of what was just said, because that's pretty plain. Your light is not to be concealed or covered. It's to be put up high, where everyone in the house can see your good works. Again, that's my goal of this morning, to encourage all of us to glorify God by publicly expressing our good works. Let me tell you how. I think everyone knows that there have been protests going on nationwide this past week. These protests are in response to the continual murder and mistreatment of black people that they face from the police officers in our country. It's a very real situation. It's a very real space that Christians can step in and show how active our faith is. Some people are peacefully protesting, and some people are looting. So whether or not we agree, we can still see them, we can still see the people, and extend our love to them and pray for their good, and then work towards that good. That's what Jesus did, y'all. See, if you don't agree with the protest, I'm not sure I understand why. I'm not sure I understand how. I just want to say that right now, black people in this country are literally saying that they do not want to be murdered, brutalized, and mistreated by law enforcement anymore. That's the protest. How can we not support that type of cry for help? Man, we would shine so brightly right now as believers, standing arm in arm saying, "Stop killing my sisters and my brothers." That's the cry. That's the why. Stop killing my sisters and my brothers. Church is not a partisan issue. It's human. It's life. Stop killing my sisters and my brothers. It's not just a talking point. None of that mess. It's life. Stop killing my sisters and my brothers. That's it. That's the protest. That's the need. And I believe that our faith compels us to help. And the world is watching. That's the role of a believer in this world. We are to act in ways that show love and that show justice. Why? The source of our faith. That's why. See, the world is going to see our faith by our works. Every time period in history, the world sees when the church is active or passive. We're demonstrating our faith, and the world is watching how we do it. May we never be the ones who say, "I want your soul saved, but not your life." That's wrong. Yes, we want souls saved, but yes, we want you to live too, here on earth, right? We want the good for our neighbor. Because as Jesus said, love your neighbor as yourself. It's the second greatest commandment. Understand that when we know what is good and we don't do it, The Bible calls that sin. It's not to be us, though. We're going to let our faith be seen by our works. The world is watching, and even more importantly, God is watching. So let's read from the passage. James chapter 2, verses 14 through 26. What good is it, my brothers and sisters, if someone claims to have faith but does not have works? Can such faith save him? If a brother or sister is without clothes and lacks daily food, and one of you says to them, go in peace, stay warm, be well fed, but you don't give them what the body needs, what is good, what good is it? In the same way, faith, if it does not have works, is dead by itself. But someone will say, you have faith and I have works. Show me your faith without works, and I will show you my faith by my works. You believe that God is one. Good. Even the demons believe, and they shudder. Senseless person, are you willing to learn that faith without works is useless? Wasn't Abraham, our father, justified by works in offering Isaac his son on the altar? You see, faith was active together with his works. And by works, faith was made complete. And the scripture was fulfilled that says, Abraham believed God, and it was credited to him as righteousness. And he was called God's friend. You see, that a person is justified by works and not faith alone is the same way. Wasn't Rahab, the prostitute, also justified by works in receiving the messengers and sending them out on a different route? For just as the body without the spirit is dead, so also faith without works is dead. Guys, 20 years ago, the year 2000, in South Korea, there was a new idea that was put out. A mobile phone was able to finally take pictures. So we put a camera into a cell phone. It didn't have any video capabilities, but it was a phone and a camera in one. In 2007, Nokia, they said, I want to add to this. So they put out a device that worked as a phone, a camera, and a video camera. So this was the first of its kind. No other manufacturer was doing it or had done it yet. 2007 is also when the iPhone came out. But they only had a camera, no video function, no flash function. It was lacking, but Apple had to catch up. It's okay. But what's new? Today, in 2020, you'd be hard-pressed to find somebody who does not have a cell phone with video camera capabilities. We can pull it out and start recording video in seconds. It was meant to be good, meant to capture and preserve the best moments in life. Childbirth, weddings, your first trip to Magic Mountain, the Del Mar Fair, whatever it is you enjoy, food, sports, outings, life, meant to capture life and death. Some of these mobile devices in our pockets, they can record so much joy, but it also enables us to record even the worst things in life. You see, a picture or a video sheds light on an otherwise unbelievable event. Now, I'm talking about police brutality here. See, some people don't believe that it happens. And others, some of us, we see it as business as usual. But today, everyone can see it live and in real time. On May 25th, George Floyd was murdered on camera. Millions of people have seen the video of a police officer, his name was Derek Chauvin, with his knee in Floyd's neck for about 9 minutes. 9 minutes of suffering while Floyd pleaded for his life. 3 other cops were there. They helped subdue Mr. Floyd at first, then they waited and they watched. They never thought to protect the citizen from one of their own. See, for anyone that has seen the video, you probably felt sick to your stomach. And you should. You should. My faith teaches me that all people are created in God's image. Whether you're a sinner or a saint, no matter if you have an illness, a weakness, no matter your age, whatever, you throw anything in there, whatever it is, everyone has the status of being in God's image and must be treated with dignity and respect, the same dignity and respect that we know is due to God's image bearer. Everyone means everyone. So I'm going to say it one more time, just in case you didn't get it. Everyone has the status of being in God's image, and we must be treated with the dignity and respect that is due to God's image bearer. The video showed 9 minutes of a person that bears the image of God suffering and dying. 9 minutes of watching the life of a son taken away, of a brother being taken away. 9 minutes of watching a friend taken away, of a father being taken from this earth. 9 minutes of suffering. I thank God that we have these video cameras now on our phones. Otherwise, there'd be no proof. There'd be no proof. It would be the word of the crowd, whoever was brave enough to speak, against the word of the officers. And as history has proven, Derek Chauvin, he would have got away with it. He would have got away with murder. Over the last week, we've seen these protests. We've seen looting because people have had enough. People are tired of the injustice. So the response comes in a way that's going to grab the attention, hopefully grab the attention of the people who have the power to make change. So let me be clear when I say this. The protests are valid. Once again, I said it already, but once again, people are hurting because of an injustice that we've seen for decades, for centuries. Now, I do not personally support the looting. I'm not going to encourage anyone to begin to loot because I don't see the value in that. My point is the pain that people have, the pain that the Black community specifically has, comes out because it feels like no one's listening. I believe this is where we as believers can come in. As followers of Christ, we can step in and we can help. By doing that, we would heal so much trauma. The need is clear. The need is very clear. Let's live out our faith. Let's live out our faith. I want you to know that you're able. You're able to do it. See, James, in this chapter, he urges us to take special concern for those who are vulnerable and marginalized. Church, if we don't know who they are already, right? If we don't know who the vulnerable and marginalized people are already, then maybe we need some practice in noticing who these people are in our society. It seems the marginalized in this letter were the poor, the orphans, the widows. James takes time to call each of them by name. The Bible tells us to care for them and to love them. Just like Paul using his position and his privilege to confront Peter. See, those of us that have the ability and the privilege to influence, we should use that influence to help lift the burdens off of our sisters and our brothers. Lift the burdens of those who are marginalized, of those who are poor, those who are orphaned, the widows. Paul didn't write it off. He didn't write off what Peter did. He didn't keep it under wraps like a lot of us would do when someone on our team does wrong, right? A lot of officers do it. Rather, Paul took a step outside of his privilege as an apostle should. With authority, he defended the people of Galatia. He defended them as they were being marginalized. Being told to change how God made them to become like a cultural Jew, that was wrong. Paul saw it. His faith wouldn't let him stay silent, so he made a change. As you go around in your day-to-day activities, pay attention to what you see. Pay attention to what you hear. People are always calling out for help. Most of the time, we're just a little bit too busy or too rushed to hear them. Paul heard. And because of his faith, he made a change. Now let's talk about me. I am privileged as an elder in this church that I'm able to come before you and speak with some authority. and I'm going to use it to lift the burdens as much as I can.